Namaskar students, I welcome you to Headlines of the Day. In this video, we are going to discuss important headlines of the Hindu newspaper 28 July 2022. So let's begin our today's discussion. First important headline is Supreme Court upholds powers of arrest raid under Prevention of Money Laundering Act, right? Available on page number 1 related to paper 3 internal security. In this article we have to know about what is money laundering, know about the Supreme Court recent ruling on Prevention of Money Laundering Act, right? तो रिसेंटली क्या हुआ कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट upheld the court judgments made to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which gives the government and enforcement directorate virtually unbridled power of summons, arrest, raids, and makes bail nearly impossible while shifting the burden of proof of innocence onto the accused rather than prosecution. Court noted that money laundering is an offense against the sovereignty and integrity of इंडिया. अगर हम की हाइलाइट्स की बात करें ऑफ रीसेंट रूलिंग, द ऑफेंस ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग इज एज हेनस एज offense as terrorism. Section 3, which deals with definition of money laundering. Section 24, which deals with reverse burden of proof. And Section 5, which deals with attachment of property to stay. Stringency in granting bail under the act is legal. It is not mandatory to give an enforcement case information report in every case, as it was not an FIR. The statement made to ED are considered admissible. Provision of attachment of property of accused as proceeds of crime balances the interest of the accused and states, right? तो पार्लियामेंट ने क्यों इनेक्ट किया था प्रिवेंशन ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्ट? अगर हम थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड में जाएं तो इट वाज इनेक्टेड एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ इंटरनेशनल कमिटमेंट टू स्टर्नली डील विद द मेनेस ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग ऑफ प्रोसीड्स ऑफ क्राइम हैविंग ट्रांसनेशनल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस एंड ऑन द फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम ऑफ द कंट्री. अगर हम थोड़ा एडिशनल इन्फॉर्मेशन की बात करें तो व्हाट इज मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग? इट इज अ प्रोसेस ऑफ मेकिंग लार्ज अमाउंट्स ऑफ मनी जनरेटेड बाय क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटी सच एज ड्रग ट्रैफिकिंग और terrorist funding appear to have come from legitimate sources. Prevention of Money Laundering Act का section 3 defines करता है offense of money laundering as whosoever directly or indirectly attempts to indulge or knowingly assist or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime and projecting it as untainted property shall be guilty of offense of money laundering, right? Our next important headline is The Street in 360-degree Panoramic View, available on page number 1 related to paper 3 Science and Technology part. This article we have to know about the Google's recent announcement to launch its popular Street View feature in India, its significance, laws and legislations related to it. It allows user to view panoramic and street level 360-degree view of a particular place. It is being brought to life completely by local partners. Street View will be available on Google Maps with fresh imagery licensed from local partners covering over 150,000 kilometers across 10 cities in India, including Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Pune, Nasik, Vadodara, Ahmednagar, and Amritsar. As per National Geospatial Policy of 2021, local companies can collect such data and foreign firms can license the data from Indian entities to serve their customers in the country. Our next important headline is Comply with new GNCTD Act LG2 speaker, available on page number 2 related to paper 2 polity and governance section. In this article we have to know what are the key features of Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act 2021, its objectives, criticism and what lies ahead. तो अगर हम एक्ट की बात करें तो it came into effect in April 2021 after 4 sections of GNCTD Act 1991 were amended. The most prominent among these amendments was the clarification of expression government referred to in any law to be made by legislative assembly to mean the lieutenant governor, thus enabling primacy of LG over the elected government. Another major amendment made to the earlier act ensures that LG is necessarily granted an opportunity to exercise powers entrusted with him under provision to clause 4 of Article 239AA of the Constitution. This particular clause provides for a council of ministers headed by Chief Minister to aid and advise the Lieutenant Governor in the exercise of his functions for matters in which the Legislative Assembly has the power to make laws. Right? हमने इस टॉपिक को अपनी वेबसाइट पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर किया है. So if you want to know more about it, the link is available in the description. Right? Our next important headline is Forest Act will begin ready for the home run. Available on page number 4, related to paper 2, governance section. In this article, we have to know what are the key features of Forest Act 2006 and their objectives, debates linked to it, conclusion and way forward. तो अगर हम की फीचर्स की बात करें फॉरेस्ट एक्ट 2006 की, तो इट अंटेल्स tenurial security over forest land under occupation prior to December 2005, recognition of community right over forest and forest products, protection and conservation of community forest resources, conservation of all forest villages and habitations located inside forest land into revenue villages, in situ rehabilitation of displaced person evicted without compensation prior to December 13, 2005, recognition of ancestral domain right to particularly vulnerable groups, seasonal access to nomadic, pastoral, and semi-nomadic communities over forest land, conversion of leases granted by erstwhile government, Samidar and King into permanent land records. अगर objectives की बात करें हम Forest Act 2006 की तो it aims to undo the historical injustice occurred to forest dwelling communities. It aims to ensure land tenure, livelihood, and food security of the forest dwelling scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers. It also aims to strengthen the conservation regime of forest by including the responsibilities and authorities on forest right holders for sustainable use, conservation of biodiversity, and maintenance of ecological balance. For better understanding, you can follow the link available in the description, right? Our next important headline is The Poor State of India's Fiscal Federalism, available on page number 6, related to paper 2, Polity and Governance section. In this article, we have to know what is fiscal federalism, changes to Indian fiscal federalism structure, issues under current fiscal federalism structure, conclusion and way forward. तो जो मेन फोकस एरिया ऑफ दिस आर्टिकल है वो है इश्यूज. व्हाट आर द इश्यूज अंडर करंट फिजिकल फेडरलिज्म structure, right? तो पहले हम we have to understand what is physical federalism. It deals with the division of financial power as well as the function between the multiple levels of federal government. तो issues की अगर हम बात करें तो क्या issues हैं? तो political centralization since 2014 made union government extractive rather than enabling. States lost their capacity to generate revenue by surrendering their rights in the wake of GST regime. Their expenditure pattern too was distorted by union intrusion, particularly through its centrally sponsored schemes. Historically, अगर बात करें तो India's fiscal transfer worked through two pillars. कौन से? Planning Commission and Finance Commission. But waning of planning since 1990s and its abolition in 2014 led to Finance Commission becoming a major means of fiscal transfer, as Commission itself broadened the scope of sharing all taxes since 2000 from its original design of just two taxes, कौन से थे वो? Income tax and union excise duties. Today, Finance Commission became a politicized institution and inherent bias towards the union government. The concerns of founding fathers of addressing the social inequalities were forgotten in the process of ushering an era of political centralization and cultural nationalism that drive today's fiscal policy. In fact, Government of India Act 1935 was more federal in nature than the Constitution adopted on January 26, 1950, right? अगर हम other issues की बात करें तो the ability of states to finance current expenditure from their own revenue has declined from 69% in 1955-6 to less than 38% in 2019 and 20. While the expenditure of the state has been shooting up, their revenues didn't. They still spend around 60% of expenditure in country, जिसमें से 85% in education and 82% in health. Since states cannot raise tax revenue because of curtailed indirect tax rights, which is subsumed in GST. Except for petroleum products, electricity, and alcohol, the revenue has been stagnant at 6% of GDP in the past decade. अगर हम conclusion की बात करें तो in sum, India's fiscal federalism, driven by political centralization, has deepened socio-economic inequality and belying the dreams of founding fathers who saw a cure for such inequities in planning. It has not altered interstate disparities either. If there was anything that alleviated poverty, reduced inequality, and improved well being of people, these were the time tested schemes of state government, but they are now under threat, right? Our next important headline is A Future Free of Hepatitis, available on page number 7, related to paper 3, Science and Technology part. In this article, we have to know what is hepatitis, know about World Hepatitis Day, its objective. So, this article is mainly focused on hepatitis because today is a World Hepatitis Day, right? तो अगर हम वर्ल्ड हेपेटाइटिस डे की बात करें तो इट इज ऑब्जर्व्ड ईच ईयर ऑन 28 July to raise awareness of viral hepatitis, which causes inflammation of liver that leads to severe diseases and liver cancer. The world is currently facing new outbreak of unexplained acute hepatitis infection affecting children. On the World Hepatitis Day 2022, WHO is highlighting need for bringing hepatitis care closer to the primary health facilities and communities so that people have better access to treatment and care no matter what type of hepatitis they have. WHO aims to achieve hepatitis elimination by 2030, right? अगर हम हेपेटाइटिस की बात करें तो इट इज एन इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ लिवर दैट इज कॉज्ड बाय वैरायटी ऑफ इन्फेक्शियस वायरसेस एंड नॉन infectious agents leading to range of health problems, some of which can be fatal. There are 5 main strains of the hepatitis virus referred to as types. कौन से हैं वो? A, B, C, D and E, right? Vaccination has proven effective in preventing hepatitis, which is why it is recommended at the earliest possible. Globally, approximately 354 million people are suffering from hepatitis B and C. Southeast Asia has 20% of the global morbidity burden of hepatitis. For the first time, अगर हम related initiative की बात करें तो for the first time, an integrated regional action plan for viral hepatitis, HIVs and STIs of 2022-2026 is being developed by WHO. This will ensure effective and efficient utilization of limited resources available for the region and will guide countries to adopt person-centered approach rather than disease-specific one, right? Our next and last important headline is Center to Amend Warehousing Act, available on page number 12, related to paper 2, Polity and Governance section. In this article, we have to know about the Warehousing Development Act of 2007, objectives, recent proposal of government for its amendment and their objectives. तो recently क्या हुआ कि Union Food and Public Distribution Ministry has suggested major amendments to Warehousing Act 2007, which aims to help farmers to get access to service of quality warehouses. It aims to make registration of godowns compulsory and to raise the penalty for various offences and to do away with a jail term as punishment for the offences. At present, registration with the Warehousing Development Regulatory Authority is optional. After the proposed amendment, which is yet to be cleared by the cabinet, registration of all third-party warehouses throughout the country will be undertaken in a phased manner. Central government will have the power to exempt any class of warehouses from the registration with the authority. This will ensure gradual and non-disruptive change to a regulated warehousing system. अगर हम एक्ट की बात करें तो it was established in 2010 to ensure scientific storage by prescribing infrastructure procedure standards. Captive warehousing, such as those of Food Corporation of India, are excluded from the ambit of the Act. So that's all we have in today's discussion. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day ahead.